federal citizens have a different set of rights than citizens of the state. The courts have done a really good job. If you just look for it, the courts have really warned that citizenship here provides very few secured rights and does not encompass the Bill of Rights. Hey, it's Corey here. In this video, we are going to build a political map of the United States of America. It's going to reveal some qualities I'm sure you're going to find absolutely amazing. Let's get into it. We're just going to talk about definitions. So when I use the term state in this map, I am referring to a very specific kind of state because there's actually a lot of different kinds of states, and we'll get into that. And it works with this political map to be able to identify the different political states. But specifically what I'm going to be referring to, represented as a circle, is going to be a state, and it's the same states that sign the treaty with the king, okay? Or the same class. It is either one of those states exactly or one of the states that entered the Union on the same footing as these original states that are represented in the Treaty of Peace. And they're specifically enumerated. You're going to see why I'm spending so much time on the definition of the state, because we want to be really clear about that. Anything that is federal authority, we are going to use a square, okay? So we got a circle for a state, square for federal authority, which is, remember, I'm going to refer to that as the United States. Is that clear enough? Circle for a state, square for federal authority. There was a collection of states. Remember, there was 13 of them that originally signed. I'm not going to draw 13. We'll do that. There were 13 states. They were recognized as each independent, sovereign, and a nation onto their own by the king. That's what put them on the world stage. And what those states did with that authority was they created a federal government. And they transferred some of their authority, enumerated authority, to the federal government. The entire nation of the USA is... The internal workings of the nation are... There is a collection of sovereign states that have created a federal government which is physically located in D.C. This is called the United States. This collection of states here are called the United States, and this entire boundary, which encompasses everything, is also called the United States. And you'll be able to learn quickly which one we're talking about. It's going to make a lot of sense. I hope you're really enjoying this. If you are, hit the like button. Please share and subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm. This is very important information. And if you have a comment, put it in the link below. But more important, if you've got a criticism, do your own presentation. I would love to see your presentation. Okay, now let's get into the political boundary map that I was referring to. This map is going to identify geographical boundaries as well as political boundaries. This, as a recap, this right here is a collection of states known as the United States. They are all on the same footing as those states that signed the Treaty of Peace with the King. They, by Constitution, created a federal authority that is foreign to each of the states, and it is located geographically foreign as well. And that is called the United States put together as an entire country. They're the United States. We have a collection of states known as the United States. They created a federal government called the United States. Together they are the United States. This is we're going to examine each one of these states closely. And this state, I'm going to use California as an example. California became a state in 1849, not a state of the Union, but a state completely on its own. It went from a territory to a state in 1849. It provided its government was within its boundaries. The only government that existed at that moment was a government of the state. It was obligated, once it became a state, as a condition of statehood, going from a territory to statehood, to apply to the Congress to be admitted into the Union, and it was admitted in 1850 as part of the Great Compromise. When the state was admitted into the Union, there became a division of authority within the state. We now have two governments within the state. We have a government of the United States and a government of the state. Now, prior to the 14th Amendment, the only place that you would find citizens were on this line here. The only citizens that existed were on this side. There was no such thing as a federal citizen prior to the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment created federal citizens. Federal citizens have a different set of rights than citizens of the state. The courts have done a really good job. If you just look for it, the courts have really warned that citizenship here provides very few secured rights and does not encompass the Bill of Rights. So the whole point of Project 421 is examining this citizenship here. Of course, the government wants you to only know about this citizenship here. Real quick recap. We have a collection of states called the United States. They created a federal government called the United States. Together, they are a nation amongst a family of nations. Each one of these states has two governments in it, and prior to the 14th Amendment, there were only citizens of the state. Everybody else was a resident who was not from another one of the states. The 14th Amendment created citizens who come from this area here, from the District of Columbia. That is what a United States citizen is politically. He is from the District of Columbia. He is outside the jurisdiction of each one of these states in a very strange status where comity does not apply. A U.S. citizen, no matter what state he goes to, is a resident of that state. He is distinguished in law from a non-resident of the state. These people are known as non-resident aliens to the United States. They are foreign to the United States. And the dividing line that these people use is the 10th Amendment. This political map is very simple. It represents a collection of states who have a governing federal authority. Together they become a nation. Each individual state, every single one of them has citizens of its own, and it has another government that operates within that state that is located in a foreign jurisdiction. Okay, now let's put this into practice. You can find the distinction between these two classes of citizen at California Government Code 241A, which describes a state citizen, and 241B, which describes a U.S. citizen. All right, this is a lot of information. You probably have to watch this 2 or 3 times, but it is fundamental to understanding state citizenship, because we're going to learn every time the government tries to get you over here and you want to be here, you're going to be able to identify exactly how they're doing it by examining your own condition and finding out how it is that you are a federal citizen if you want to be a state citizen. It is one of the greatest court battles that exists today, and it's really uncharted territory. Within the history of the United States, I've not found anybody who has brought a credible court case where they are qualified as a citizen of the state, have become a citizen of the United States, no longer want to be a citizen of the United States, and want to be just a citizen of the state. That is the entire purpose of this channel, Project 421. My name's Corey. If you thought this was valuable, please hit the like button, please share it. And there's a lot of information here, so probably have to watch it a couple of times and let the comments flow. Let's have a discussion. I'm really curious what other people are doing in other states and what you're finding.